What up, Bulls Nation? We've got live CHGO Bulls pregame right around the corner. The Bulls taking on the Pistons tonight. Their second matchup against their Central Division rival. The first since opening night when the Bulls beat the Pistons behind the strong performances of Vooch and Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey, late scratch, will not play tonight, resting for the second straight game with that sprained ankle. But the Pistons injury list is even longer. Who's actually playing and what's going to mean the difference in the Bulls getting a win tonight? We'll preview it next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls pregame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. CHGO Bulls pregame is presented by Michelob Ultra and Bet365. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra and download the Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you do. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Game night. I'm Peck, Bulls _ Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam! BAWL Sports. Will they go Gottlieb? Will _ Gottlieb. And King of the Controls, Joey C. Hey, what up, Joey?
Bam! I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
Oh, you and everyone else.
Injury list.
The injury lists be long and longer for Bulls Pistons rematch tonight. You know what? Let's just start right there, gentlemen, because the Bulls and Pistons are going to play a basketball game in about a half an hour. Lots of important players for both teams will not be participating. Obviously, we know Kobe White still out, Zach Collins still out. We could be nearing a Kobe White return, maybe even on that the West Coast part of this 4-game road trip that starts tonight in Detroit. Right. We'll see. Josh Giddey sat Monday's game against the Spurs after rolling his ankle in the game on Saturday. He, late scratch as well, will not play. Don't like to see that because we've seen the challenges of the Bulls offense without Josh Giddey on top of missing Kobe White. But then, gentlemen, you look at the Pistons team that the Bulls will face tonight. Cade Cunningham, late scratch with a hip contusion. He has been their offensive engine in this 7-game winning streak that they're on. Jalen Duren, ankle out. Tobias Harris, ankle out. Beef Stew, ankle out. Azar Thompson, ankle out.
Come on.
There is an ankle virus going on in Detroit.
I could have put someone on the thumbnail if I wanted to.
Dude.
Joe Dumars or like.
Ankle out.
Yes, Joe Dumars.
Ankle out.
John Sally.
Ankle out.
Jaden Ivey still recovering from that arthroscopic procedure he had on his knee. He remains out. And Marcus Sasser, a decent backup guard for Detroit for the last couple of years, also out with a hip. So he and Cade got hips. Everybody else got ankles.
Hips and ankles.
This is a who's going to play for the Pistons night tonight, and maybe a cupcake on deck for the Bulls? Knock off that 3-game losing streak?
I mean, if we're going to remove best players from it, I'm going to pick the Bulls to win a game like this, man. Just because of what we've seen from the Chicago Bulls and how they play. They play as one. In unison, like they don't care who's the leading scorer. There is no real pecking order trademark to their team as far as who is going to be the number one guy out there for them. It's whoever's got the hot hand, whoever's working well for them, and they go 10 deep. That's how deep they can go, and they'll probably go deeper than that tonight. Javon Carter, shout out to you. And guys are gonna get some playing time tonight, and Dalen Terry is gonna get in there and get some time. But it doesn't matter who they bring in; they have a mentality. And they have a structure in the way that they play and the way that they approach the game. And it starts, from the best person on the team and trickles down to the last man on the roster. They all kind of play that same way. So if I'm picking it like that, man, I'm picking the Bulls to get a W.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I mean, depth is obviously the Bulls' calling card at this point, but when you're going against a team that is missing basically its entire starting five, you're depth should also serve as like the talent upgrade. So this is going to be a rare opportunity, even though Giddey is not playing, even though Kobe's not playing, where the Bulls are going to have both depth and talent on their opponent. Obviously, the Pistons are on a streak right now. They're playing really well, but I think the Bulls are in a really good position here to break that 3-game losing streak. You don't like take any game for granted. You have to like come in with the appropriate fear, but this should be a game that they're able to win. And I think it's just like, it's hard to even imagine like how the Pistons could figure out a way to, you've got Ron Holland, you've got Duncan Robinson. There's guys there, but it's just, I mean, they're missing both of their bigs. They're missing their point guard. They're missing their power. I mean, it's going to be tough for them.
It's going to be a hard one, man. It's going to be a tough one.
Shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Travis McKnight saying, no Cade, gotta win. And Brendan saying, got to get this W with all these guys out for Detroit. Yeah, so obviously it's not ideal for the Bulls to be missing Josh Giddey on top of missing Kobe White, but we also saw them put up a hell of a fight against a very good Spurs team on Monday night and come just short of winning that game. So we know whether it's relying more on Trey Jones and Ayo Dosunmu in that backcourt, maybe asking a bit more offensively of Vooch tonight, because I feel like Vooch has been kind of quiet offensively the last couple of games, and he was huge in their season-opening win against Detroit. I think he had a 28-14 game.
He balled.
Just like everybody was like, oh, Vooch, preseason games, this guy's washed. And then he was like, oh, this game counts?
Yes.
All right, how's 28-14? So I'm looking at Vooch tonight as well as Trey and Ayo to like, hey, this is a very winnable game.
Yeah.
Vooch, you've been kind of quiet. Let's go to Vooch early and often. Let's get some good looks, especially with a lot of Detroit's rim protection sitting in street clothes at the end of the bench.
Yeah.
You got to attack early and often.
Oh, 100% agree with you about this, man. And Vooch, I mean, he is definitely a guy that can carry you for a game if you need be. He's been that guy. He's been on the Orlando Magic where he was that kind of dude. And you're right, Matt. And I've always said this about Vooch. When it's a guy that he's bigger than, he's dominating. Like, so if you're at his height or an inch shorter or something, he's going to dominate you. So I feel like that might be the case tonight when they're playing the Detroit Pistons, man. Because, I mean, Duren is a special kind of talent out there, and Beef Stew is a special kind of talent out there. Both of those things won't be out there for them tonight. I believe, is it Reed that will be out there?
I would guess so. Yeah, I mean, they're missing 6 players. Like it's just
a lot
be
going,
tough.
man. So they're going to have to dip way into the bag to find something to compete with the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, Vooch, I expect Matt to have that get right game against this version of the Detroit Pistons.
I think, you mentioned Vooch, you mentioned Trey, you mentioned Ayo. I think Kevin Huerter is going to be another one. I think he led the team in scoring last game, but between his ability to stretch defenses out and space the floor, but then also take teams off the dribble, attack closeouts, he was really good along with Trey and Ayo at getting into the paint against the Spurs. And I think that this isn't a situation where you're missing Kobe and Giddey. You just throw out the game plan, you throw out your identity, and just go to Vooch in the post. Like, I do agree with you, Matt, that he's going to be more involved, but I think it's going to still come from this same identity of trying to generate paint touches and spray it out. So Vooch is going to be very much involved, and he really has been like a steady force for the Bulls, but I don't think they're going to change who they are just because they're missing some guys.
Yeah, and as you were pointing out on yesterday's show, the Bulls are among the best, or if not the best in the NBA in number of looks at the rim, frequency of attempts from total attempts coming at the rim, and it's just that their conversion rate at the rim hasn't been great. So if Vooch, still within this Bulls offensive system, and not just like let's dump it to Vooch on the block every time down the floor, but within that system gets inside and converts at a better rate, the Bulls have shown that they're capable of getting to the rim. Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing and see if Vooch can feast in that way tonight. But I think you're also right pointing out Huerter, and to that end, stick around throughout the entirety of pregame. At the end of pregame, we got Bet365 pregame picks. Kevin Huerter makes an appearance.
Velvet.
And not just because he was the team's leading scorer with 23 off the bench, as Big Dave has pointed out throughout this first handful of games. Huerter's been active in a lot of ways on the floor.
Doing his thing.
So, with that, a couple other things to make note of from like, okay, they did beat the Pistons in the season opener. What might be the same? What might be different? Mentioned Vooch's 28-14. Giddey had himself a solid night with 19 and 11. Yeah. So you're going to be without that. Modest Buzelis had 21 points in their season opener, his first game of his sophomore NBA season, including 7 of 7 at the free throw line. 6 boards, 3 blocks. Let me get some modest attacking. Speaking of being aggressive for the Bulls offensively tonight, let me see modest. I think he took 4 free throws on Monday.
He took 4
after taking 2 on Saturday.
Yes.
How about 6?
How about it?
How about 10?
Talk to him, Matthew Peck. I want modest. I want more of modest tonight. I know Vooch is going to have his opportunities because of the guys that we mentioned won't be out there. But some of those guys also would have to guard Modest Vucevic. They won't be out there tonight. And he's going against his guy, Holland, man. And, they want to play well against each other and, do their best. I still remember that Summer League game that we were watching when they played Detroit and just how into that Modest was because he was playing against Holland, talking about we're not even friends on the court right now. Talk to me after the game.
Yeah.
That's the mentality he had. I'm going to need to see that mentality tonight, sir. Put that mentality out there on the floor and go ball these dudes up, all right? Go show them why you're Modest Vucevic. Go show them why a lot of Bulls fans' sanities and hopes hang by a very thin thread on your growth and development. Show them who you are, sir. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think Modest, we were talking after, was it the Spurs game where people were getting a little frustrated with him?
It was one of them. Yeah, we'll go with the Spurs game.
It's like a little bit of a lull.
Yeah.
It seems like people are kind of losing patience or just feeling a little frustration with the lack of scoring. This is going to be one of those games where he has an opportunity to score the ball, but they're going to need him to score the ball.
Yeah.
But just looking at his numbers here, I mean, would you guys have been happy before the season if I told you Modest was averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, assist, a steal, a block, 47% from the field, 47.7, 40% on threes and 84% from the line? Like, I don't think that it doesn't wow you. It's not like exceeding expectations, but I think we would all be pretty pleased with that development. And so I do think within that there's going to be ups and downs, and hopefully this is one of those up games because I agree that we haven't seen like the best possible version of Modest the last couple of games. But to me, this is positive momentum. This is growth. This is progress. And this is kind of how it goes sometimes.
This is how it goes. He's absolutely right, man. It's not linear.
Yes. So, yes, I would be happy if you told me that would be his stat line out of the gate, their first 10 games. But just because I don't hate that stat line doesn't mean I don't want it to be better than it is.
Yeah, no, agreed. But I feel like if that's what he was putting up in there, I would be over the moon ecstatic. And he had me at the block.
Yeah.
Because, that's what I was all about, was just seeing him do that. But I need to feel him. And that stat line lets me, feel you like that. Like, I feel Modest out there with that. So I just want this game. I want to know he's out there, and I want to be able to feel him out there, and not just for a half. He's had halves in these past few games where he's gotten it together in the second half after having a slow start. And then we're like, okay, he's got it together in this third quarter, hits a couple threes. He'll come out early in the fourth quarter, do his thing, and then Billy, kind of sits him for the rest of the game. But, yeah, man, just want to know Modest Vucevic is present, as I know he is mentally out there on the floor.
Can I say one thing that actually, I guess it's not concerning to me, but if I had to pick out one thing that was concerning from his stat line, to me, it would be the 28.1 minutes per game. I want to see that number at 33, 34, 36 because he is earning those minutes, because Billy is not pulling him out of the game, because he's not getting into foul trouble and having to sit. That, to me, the numbers are going to kind of scale with his minutes. To me, it's more just about like how many minutes can he handle, and he's handling those minutes, or he's staying out there because Billy's trusting him, because he's not making mistakes in terms of the scheme coverage or fouling guys or whatever it may be, but he's having an impact in all of those minutes. That's the number that I want to see grow more than anything else.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. Let's knock out a quick ad break. Shout out some of our sponsors. We'll come back with more pregame. I want to look at what exactly the Pistons will be missing without Cade Cunningham tonight, with what he's been up to production-wise, and also take a little bit of a closer look at this Pistons defense that is off to a really strong start, granted, with a lot of players who won't be there tonight. Hit the like button while you listen to some ads.
You could be good. We've seen people be good. That's nice.
Yeah.
You could be great.
Uh-huh.
A guy like Will Gottlieb, he's great. But if you want games like these, you gotta be Ultra, baby.
Ultra!
Oh, Michelob Ultra is the only way, whether by a can or a bottle, once it hits your lips, it's full throttle. Vroom. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra. What makes it so ultra, Dave? And why are your games so amazing? Well, one, you got to talk to the man upstairs about that. But 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. That's what makes it Ultra, y'all. It's a superior, smooth taste worth playing for. And Michelob Ultra is the official American beer sponsor of your Chicago Bulls. So grab a Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer as you cheer on your Chicago Bulls. Superior game, hello. Make superior taste, hello. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. Be Ultra Magnetic.
CHGO Bulls also brought to you by Bet365. And right now, the early payout offer from Bet365, you're a winner if your football team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download that Bet365 app and be sure to use promo code CHGO365 when you do, because when you do that, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. Win or lose that bet, doesn't matter. You're getting the $200 in bonus bets either way. You can use those bonus bet dollars on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Plus, throughout all football season, they've got Thursday Night Football, $10 safety net bets. They've got Monday Night Football, 50% super profit boost tokens on same-game parlays, and Sunday Night Football. Yeah. The Sunday Night Football, $365,000 jackpot. Get in on it. You can double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. What are you waiting for? Download that Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Must be 21 and older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're back. CHGO Bulls pregame rolling along on Wednesday night as we near the tip-off between the Bulls and Pistons for the second time this season. Hit that like button if you didn't do it during the ad break. Thanks for being here, Bulls Nation. Throw some more thoughts on what you want to see from the Bulls in tonight's game. Cade Cunningham, who will sit tonight, did lead the Pistons with 23 points when the Bulls beat him on opening night back on October 22nd, but the Bulls made him work for it. Word. 8 of 24 from the field was Cade on his way to those 23 points. And then you saw on their long winning streak, what was it? Was it a Monday night game when they won and he put up 45 points?
So. Yep.
46 points?
The same night the Bulls play the Spurs.
45 shots. So Cade has been getting the ball up a lot. He leads the team in field goal attempts per game at 22.1. So when you take that out, you also take out Tobias Harris's near 12 shots a game. Thompson ain't playing tonight either. He takes 11.5 shots per game. Duren ain't playing tonight. He takes nearly 11 shots per game. Beef Stew, 8 shots per game. Duncan Robinson, 8.5, is the only one who is active tonight in the Pistons' 5 most field goal attempts takers per game.
Wow.
So then you kind of ask yourself, all right, if you're the Bulls defensive strategy-wise tonight, like, who are you worried about? Who are you trying to stop? Who are you trying to slow down? Like, obviously, guard Duncan Robinson on the perimeter. Beyond that, yeah. Like what else is there to do?
Yeah, I think Karis LeVert's somebody who can get loose a little bit off the dribble. Paul Reed is one of those like per minute guys where sometimes he's just like putting up a ton of numbers in small doses. We'll see if that can translate to a larger role. And then they've got like some shooters. Chaz Lanier is a rookie. I think he was the 37th pick. He's a guy that can shoot a little bit. Dennis Jenkins has been playing a little bit for them. So they've got some guys, but there's just not the talent there that is going to, be able to really, I think, hurt the Bulls. Now, anything can happen with these teams, especially if they're going to just like launch a bunch of threes. Like we know what the variance can look like there, but I do think that this is just going to be a tough one for them to compete in with how the Bulls play and the fact that, yes, they're missing some guys, but it's still a very deep team that they're going to be able to play.
Yeah, you're going to have to – in games like this, you kind of got to go with the equalizer thing, which is the three-point shot. And like you said, Duncan Robinson, he's going to take those things. LeVert, he can definitely shoot those things. Javonte Green, he can do stuff too. I mean, they're going to have to rely on that. I think Holland is going to just be, off a leash tonight, man, on both sides of the floor. He is fun to watch. Like, honestly, he really is fun to watch.
I forgot Holland.
Yeah, he's nice, man.
He's really good.
He's really good. So they have guys, that can make this game competitive and even try to steal this game just depending on how hot certain guys get. But just looking at it overall, man, the Bulls have just done such a good job quelling the fires of those kind of players out here this season. So if the Bulls can continue that trend and continue playing that team ball, getting that ball and taking it and getting out in transition and scoring, then, man, the Bulls should have themselves a stew going tonight. Like, it should be a nice night for the Bulls. Now, anything can happen, we just don't know. But I'd like the Bulls' chances in this.
The other thing is, sorry, just to say one more thing. Like, you don't want to come into a game thinking, oh my God, this team's losing its top 6 players.
Bulls should never come into a game thinking that.
And correct, they should not. And so far they haven't. I'm not like accusing them of doing this.
True.
But this is probably the most shorthanded a team that they've played in a while, like maybe even the last couple of years. You can't just like go in with the mentality that we're going to win without needing to play our style. What makes the Bulls a good team, if they are a good team, is when they are really putting their pedal to the floor and playing that style for 48 minutes. And so if you let up, that's when you can give up these runs. And you just can't have that mentality going into a game no matter who you're playing.
True.
Yeah, and needing the Bulls to get out and run tonight, that is an area where they actually lost, did not have the fast break points edge in that win over the Pistons back in October. They lost fast break points 19-7, while also perhaps somewhat more predictably losing points in the paint to Beef Stew and all them Pistons, 68-50.
Yeah,
the Bulls have been averaging like 60 points in the paint allowed per game out of the gate. That's now come down a bit. I think they're around 56 right now after the recent stretch. But in game 1, 68 points in the paint. Can the Bulls clean that up tonight and then also create some turnovers to get out in transition? Because when you look at what this Pistons team can do defensively, and yes, obviously, there is no Jalen Duren tonight. There's no Beef Stew tonight. There's no Asar Thompson tonight. But even still, the body of work that the Pistons have done, Joey, do you have some of those defensive numbers? Pistons defense of 4 factors. There's some things that they do really well, and then there's some areas where the Bulls can capitalize. As you see, they're top 5 in the NBA so far in both opponent effective field goal percentage and opponent's turnover percentage. They create some of the highest turnover rates across the NBA, and they force their opponents to take difficult shots. However, they're a middle-of-the-pack team when it comes to defensive rebounding, so perhaps the Bulls can get some work done on the offensive glass tonight. Modest, I'm looking at you. Lee, I'm looking at you. Lee. And then, second to last in the NBA, opponents' free throws taken per field goals taken. And if you recall, one of the areas the Bulls did have the edge in their October win against the Pistons, they went to the line more and were more efficient with their high volume. I think the Bulls shot over 30 free throws in that game.
Preach it.
So the Pistons have continued to show since seeing the Bulls back on October 22 that they foul a lot. They put their opponents on the line a lot. Can the Bulls take advantage of that?
Ooh, that is the question. Will they be able to take advantage of that? Everything says that they should, but, once that ball rolls out, you have no idea how it's going to go. Also, this is a game where the Bulls, they're on the road. If you want to look at their record on the road, it's not the best, on the road record. I believe they won
5-1 at home.
Right.
Now 1-3 on the road.
1-3, man. So, and again, they were playing, tough teams, but this team is no different. This is the top team in the East right now. Regardless of who they've got out there, this is still a top team in the East. So I talked about playing with that mentality. When you're at the top, you play with that mentality too. So, yeah, man, and being at home, you're going to get a little extra juice. Maybe the fans get behind you a little bit more. So, the Bulls can't, as Goat said, they just can't come in taking anybody for granted in this game. So, they have to come in with that fire and that intensity. Shout out Norm Van Leer. In this game against the Pistons, man, or they could easily lose this game because if that three-point shot isn't hitting for Detroit, well, they will get physical. They will absolutely get physical with you out there. So, Bulls got to be ready for all those kind of things, man. But from what we've seen in these games with the Chicago Bulls, I really do feel they'll be ready for it.
And back to the free throws for a second. I think that is an indicator of whether they are playing to their style, right? Like if they're just coming down the court and bombing threes, or if they're making one pass and shooting threes, like they're not getting into the lane, they're not going to be drawing fouls. They're not going to be getting to the free throw line. And that's really, I think, where they can do a lot of damage. You mentioned, obviously, that the number of free throws that the Pistons are giving up, but that's also, it should be a strength of the Bulls, and this is an opportunity for them to take advantage of that.
So, Chief C in the chat saying we're playing a starting lineup of Javonte Greens. So you will have to deal with Javonte Green tonight, who has seen some minutes coming off the bench for this quality Detroit team. And while the Pistons have been dealing with these injuries, not just Cade, who has played up until tonight when he's sitting, Javonte Green has seen his minutes come up a little bit in this last handful of games while the Pistons have been shorthanded, which can lead us into our pregame picks, brought to you by Bet365. Pregame picks from Bet365. Download that Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, let's take a look at what I like tonight as a gambling man. Let's start with Vooch. I mentioned at the top of the show, I want to see Vooch have a stronger, more impactful offensive game than this recent stretch of games where he's been putting up 9, 10, 11 points, especially against this depleted Pistons team. You're one of the more talented offensive players on the floor. Go score, Vooch.
Yeah.
So I like Vooch to get that 20-point mark tonight, and doing so at plus 105 odds I feel is great value for a guy who can score 20 points in his sleep if he feels like it.
Sure.
So give me Vooch to have 20 or more points tonight. You also mentioned Kevin Huerter earlier and the ways that he is producing, not just scoring, but being active. He's working the glass. He's getting good looks when players are moving off the ball. So combined assists and rebounds, Kevin Huerter was set at 6.5. And I was like, yo, that seems like a pretty low, easy number for Huerter to hit. And guess what? He's been hitting that number almost every game in their last stretch of 5 or 6. So minus 115 to hit the over on Huerter combined 6.5 assists and rebounds, and had to make a bet for our old pal Javonte Green.
Got to.
I expected even before the official announcements of Cade not playing, Duran not playing, added to the laundry list of Pistons who are sitting and his number of minutes increasing. You also see Javonte got a little bit of a little revenge juice against his former team tonight.
A little bit.
So I think Javante's going to play a heavy dose of minutes, and he's playing his former team over 2.5 combined steals and blocks at plus money, plus 125. If you do the math, that's only 0.6 blocks or steals per Javonte. As we know, there are 5 out there. So you're only asking for 0.6 steals/blocks per Javonte. That seems like an easy cash bet to me.
And he is going to be starting the starting lineups were just announced by the Pistons PR. Javonte, Ron Holland, Paul Reed, Duncan Robinson, and Dennis Jenkins for the Pistons. And as the Bulls tweeted out a little bit ago, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, Vooch, Buzelis, and Okoro is the Bulls starting 5.
So same starting lineup for the Bulls as Monday when Giddey sat with Huerter in that starting lineup, Io coming off the bench. And for that Pistons starting lineup, Dennis Jenkins, noteworthy, one of their two-way contract players. That's how deeply the Pistons are scraping the barrel right now.
Literally about to
where you be like, who the heck is Dennis Jenkins?
I was ready to ask it.
He is a Pistons two-way contract
Thank
player.
you very much, man.
And they have 7 of their, we'll see some two-way guys, but they have 7 players injured. So, yeah, they're just their bench is going to be pretty thin as well. Yeah. That's 12 guys. You have 15 roster spots plus 3 two-ways.
Yeah. Kind of harkens back to the old health and safety protocols days. Like how many Bulls have COVID right now? Or how many players the Bulls are playing against the team? Bulls are playing tonight have COVID right now.
Poor guys.
It's nuts.
2 Samsons.
So many Samsons. Shout out to somebody in the chat. Gem X said, I like your picks, Peck. I'd like to sign up to your newsletter. I don't have a newsletter. You should subscribe to the CHGO Sports newsletter.
That's right.
That hits your email inbox for free every day, Monday through Friday.
For free.
Shout out to our pal, Pat Norton. But you don't need a newsletter. Just tune in every time we do postgame, and I'll give you my picks for the game. Monday night, 3-4-3 on my pregame picks. And if you want to get a little frisky, I checked the odds. If you make Vooch 20+, Huerter combined assists and rebounds, and Javonte's combined steals and blocks, put that into a little same-game parlay, you got yourself plus 700 odds. That's what I did. Ride it if you want to. I also like to live dangerously. All right, we have crossed.
He's not a financial advisor.
The 6 p.m. Time Central. That means tip-off is right around the corner. Starting lineups and intros right around the corner. Let's get a dub.
Let's get a
end
dub.
This 3-game skid. It is right there for the taking. Start this 4-game road trip strong.
Yes. One more player.
Yes, Dave.
Jalen Smith.
Woo.
Let's continue what you've been doing, sir. You're going to have opportunities out there as well.
If he does not play 13 of the 12 fourth quarter minutes, we're going to be speaking to Billy Donovan.
It's crazy, man. At least 12:30.
Right. 12 and a half minimum.
Okay.
Even if the Bulls are up 20.
Okay, we'll be nice. We'll be nice.
I saw somebody in the chat earlier. It would be a nice game for Noah Sengate to get some run if, Bulls are playing the scrap heap Pistons. But he did put up a solid stat line for his Windy City Bulls
That's
debut last night.
That's a good stat line, man.
Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit on tomorrow's pod.
Sure.
Because I know a lot of Bulls fans were excited to see him play well, and he did yesterday for WCB. All right. Game time. Shout out. Get the bets in. Bet365. And we will see y'all right back here for postgame. Woo! Shout out to Joey Z on the controls. Talk to you in a few hours. Hit the like. Peace.
Love a 6 p.m. tip-off. Yes.
We all silly like the mayor.